feel like a grifter when I hear that song, you know?
Yeah. So this week, it's going to be a fun top 5 to look back on the great movies, but it's also a little unsettling because we lost the great Carl Weathers on the 1st of February, 76 years old, part of all 3 of our youths. I mean, me going way back. And it's just a shame. And you know what? You have to look at it this way. I was actually talking to my brother about it today, and we were discussing how he's like, I can't believe he died. I said, look, we can all be comforted that the man went to sleep.
Yeah.
No debilitating disease, no nothing. And that's the way we should all go. So
mad crazy.
Well,
absolutely.
On a more positive note, let's look back on the amazing films he gave us, and let's do our top 5. So I'll throw out my number 5 out there. My number 5, which is good because it was a comedic role. It was a comedy role. Showed how far he would go to do something that was so iconic, and it's Happy Gilmore.
Oh yeah, Chubbs, boy,
Chubbs.
It's all in the hips, baby.
I still love when they show him later on. Look, I got my hand back.
That's right. That's right. I'm going to mimic that sentiment. So my number 5 is also Happy Gilmore Chubbs, but honorable mention when you get to see him again in Little Nicky. I love that cameo.
Yes, that's right. He's in that.
Oh, we're gonna do plenty of honorable mentions. I'll tell you that.
It's just because it was the same character, So
pretty much, yeah.
Chubbs, yeah.
Clean sweep, guys. It's no doubt. It's Happy Gilmore, Chubbs, Peterson.
It's the Gilmore. It's the Gilmore.
I didn't fuck around. I got my poster signed. Just him and Christopher McDonald. Shooter McGavin are both on my poster.
So how many Carl Weathers signatures do you have on things? That's a question because you have a lot of
technically, I bought one. I have a 8x10 from him, but I got 2 things signed by him, 2 posters. He's expensive, dude. We talked about it. Like, I really wanted to get a figure or 2 signed, but not for that price, dude. It was just shit.
Well, he figures people are going to. Well, you know what? And we talked about this. I get it. He was like, well, if people are going to sell it, I'm going to charge what they're going to sell it for. But then there's the people like yourself who are not going to sell it, that are going to have to pay like basically what you would pay if you bought it secondhand. Yeah. But you're getting it firsthand, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, there's just no divide there. You can't prove to a guy that you're not gonna sell it or.
Yeah, all you had to do was basically you just take a video of your Rocky Room and say, "Look, do you think I'm going to resell this?"
I think that's what my wife said. It's like, could you just show this guy like all your shit?
You could have wore the Apollo shorts that you showed last night. You could have wore the shorts and showed, "This is my room. Do you think I'm going to resell this shit?"
This is for me, bub.
I will tell you, he did not. I was trying to take a picture of him signing my posters. He didn't like that at all. And this was not this past. It was 2022's Chicago Fan Expo. He's like, no pictures over here, man. I'm sorry. I'm like, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to offend you. He's like, oh, we're fine, man. I was like, okay. Then the next day that I took the picture with him and my son, that fucking Dylan, you son of a bitch.
Dylan. Hey, Princess of Horror. Thanks for joining.
Hey, Princess of Horror. What's up?
Yeah.
I keep telling you, if you ever want to come on and do cosplay, hit us up.
Please do.
She does some great cosplay. You want to come on? Just hit us up. You're more than welcome to be a guest.
Yeah, Happy Gilmore and Rocky 2. That was the other poster too, Pat. So yeah, we got a Rocky 2 and Happy Gilmore.
Well, we didn't do it last night. We forgot. I realized it after the fact. We didn't do the tour of the Rocky Room. So if you want to show it later, we can show it later.
Oh, fuck, that could be interesting. Yeah,
Rocky.
But so my number 4. All right, this is going to be a little controversial because it's a little bit lower on the list than you would expect. But the other 3 above them, I'm sorry, were like staples of my youth, and I'm sure Brett would understand. And so for me, number 4 is Predator.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, it's no knock on it, whatever. But the other 3 are just like I can remember moments in time of seeing these.
Yep.
And how iconic they were to me. So yeah, Predator number 4.
Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome. Oh, this is gonna get low tricky.
So Mandalorian, I'm gonna throw you out.
So for me, oh man, see this one's tough.
It's not as easy as you think. Holy shit!
That was awesome.
He disappeared because he didn't want to tell. He didn't want to tell us. Just click.
I think he was saying Action Jackson. I think that's what he was going with.
Action Jackson, yeah. Which I do like, but I couldn't put on this list. Not the top 5, I should say.
No.
All right, so we're gonna skip over Joe because he apparently disappeared because he doesn't want to. He didn't want to tell us.
He went to his happy place. That's good. Okay. When he's coming back, number 4 will be Rocky 3. Rocky 3 is pretty impressive though for me with him. He's trying to get the Rocky character back to find the eye of the tiger, to find the edge. And
Yeah.
it's just the first time that him and Rocky collaborate together. Very
Yeah.
special.
Oh, he sent you a message.
Yeah. No, that was my wife.
So weird that we were talking about Carl Weathers last Sunday, and I was thinking we've only just begun. We go, I forgot about that, Bill. That's right. See, it's your fault then. It's fucking Bill's fault that he's dead.
Sorry, now I was thinking of Boogie Nights. Remember that? That's my wife.
That's my wife.
William H. Macy, right?
Okay, Joe disappeared. We don't know. Oh, here he comes. He's back. What happened? You were afraid to tell us?
It just dropped. I was like, "What?"
Now you're truly in Texas, down low.
That was kind of That was kind of creepy because I was like bringing it up and like, oh, I'm like, what the fuck?
I'm like, he's afraid to tell us, or he just disappeared.
No, okay. So number 4, fuck. I was still in the middle of deciding.
Well, Brett said his number 4 while you were gone. His number 4 was Rocky 3. So
Rocky 3. So
okay.
Now we're gonna go. We've changed the course of the order.
Okay, good. I'm okay with that. Fuck. Okay. I have to go with.
It's not that bad. He didn't have a big portfolio as much as
he didn't. He didn't.
No,
but
he
it's
didn't.
like
filmography, whatever.
Damn.
But
See,
a lot of more iconic roles, which is you don't need to do that many.
I'm gonna go Rocky. No. I'm gonna have to go. Rocky 3 too. Have to.
Yeah.
Have to.
Not bad. Let's just quick jump in the chat before doing it. Number 3.
Damn.
Bill loved him in The Mandalorian. See, I didn't watch him in that. So, no, because I just didn't really watch The Mandalorian, but I heard good things about it, his role in it.
Yeah, I never watched it.
Carlos says Rocky, Predator, Happy Gilmore, Action Jackson, Force 10 from Never. Nice.
Yeah, very nice selection.
Very nice.
Very nice. Very, very nice. All right, so for me, my number 3 is easy. My number 3 is Rocky 3. I love Rocky 3. Saw it in the theater. I just loved because you remember Mr. T was fucking big at the time. So I was going there to see Mr.
A-Team,
T.
right?
Yeah.
Because A-Team, I watched A-Team religiously. If I could find pictures of me, I dressed as Mr. T for Halloween. I went to the Great American Party store and bought a mohawk, and then I put all the brown paint on it and shit and became Mr. T.
Yeah.
Big summer release of 1982, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah, so it was a twofer for me. I was going there to see Mr. T, and then he was a fucking badass. Clubber Lang.
Clubber Lang and
hey boy,
Hulk Hogan.
Hey boy.
That movie's probably responsible for the WWF making what it was, because that's how Vince McMahon brought Hogan back after that movie hit it big.
I remember seeing that because at that time I was still watching wrestling, and I remember seeing. I'm like, that's the guy who was in Rocky 3, Thunderlips. I'm like, holy shit.
Rocky 3 is also the fighting is different, than all the other movies. All the other movies, the fighting goes the distance. And it's just the Clubber Lang character was just so powerful. He blew up. He got tired. So it was like only a couple rounds.
But it was super special because you got to remember. So I saw the first Rocky on cable. And then I saw Rocky 2 in the theater. And oh God, I love Rocky 2. And then seeing Rocky 3. And then Rocky 3, remember it threw because there's no social media. So it threw us for a loop because that's what was good about social media. You didn't know going in there. I had no idea that Apollo was going to come in there and buddy up to him to help train him. Mm-hmm. That just did a 360 because you're like, wait a second, this guy's going to help you?
Yeah. It was very emotional for Rocky because, he lost Mick and all that shit. And he Apollo kind of picked up Rocky.
Picked his ass up.
He picked him up from the ashes. And
That's a good movie.
People confuse like that montage, the training montage in part 3 is just fuck, dude. It is just legendary, man. Gets me so hyped even to this day. It's so good.
It's great stuff. You have a lot with Rocky 3. That's where the statues debuted at the museum. That's Survivor. Look at Survivor. Eye of the Tiger was a big fucking hit, right?
Huge. Yeah. That was a big song, man. Everybody loved it. I still like that song. Love it.
Find it 45 somewhere.
That little interaction between Paulie and him. He's like, I don't sweat you. He's like, hey, boy, hey, Apollo, hey,
Apollo,
hey, don't go ballistic over here. Like, you got to get to know him about 20, 30 years. Well, I ain't got 20. I'm like, oh, dude.
Is he always this pushy, right?
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, so it's super special for me, man. It's such a good. I love Rocky 3. So
I just like all the hugging on the beach, like we talked about.
Yeah, they're running on the beach
shirt.
when they're doing like
Man
the chariots of fire, base the big man love.
Fuck yeah.
When they're clapping and hugging.
Yep.
That's the best, bro.
Dude,
Ding.
shit.
All right. So what about you, Brady?
Okay, so we're at number 3. This is, I think, where you and I start flipping around, Pat. So yeah, this is where Predator falls into place for me, though. I think a lot of it has to do with the whole Dylan, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
It's nostalgia.
Telling Jesse Ventura like this. That's a real nasty habit you got there.
Yep.
Predator's a good time. And I guess, it's another movie. He loses a limb, right? Well, no, he does.
Yep.
He just loses his hand. I guess.
He loses his hand.
Good
That's
stuff.
a good
Yeah,
choice.
Predator, number 3.
Damn it. So I went with number 5 was Happy Gilmore's Chubbs. Number 4 was Rocky 3. So my number 3, oh my God, this sucks.
It's not easy, man. It's not easy.
No, it has to be it's going to have to be the OG Rocky, the original.
Okay.
The very first Rocky, because it was the intro to Apollo Creed. And I remember I hated how obnoxious he was. He was like, and
I loved it. He was such a dick.
They did that. They did it well. It was played perfectly. And I felt like Carl Weathers, like he was a believable boxer. Like I liked his fighting stance and he was so kind of robotic, and you could believe he was world champ. You know what I mean?
Yes,
like I believed it.
He had that charisma.
He did.
He had the Muhammad Ali charisma.
When he came down, he was wearing all the USA, the hat, and all that.
Yep.
He was like, he was his shit, and he knew it. He knew he
George
was
Washington.
Shit.
Oh, God.
Yes, it was.
He hit the hair and everything. Yeah,
dude, that's so legendary, man. So for me, number 3 has got to be the OG Rocky.
Nice.
Rocky.
Let's see what's on the chat. People are saying. Let's see. I'm thinking. Bill used to have Mr. T. I had one too. I had the Mr. T action figure.
Dude, Mr. T
Hey,
cereal, that tasted like Captain Crunch, Pat. The Mr.
Oh,
T
it was
cereal.
the same
That's
shit.
all it was. It was just repackaged with in a different box.
Hey, boy.
Yes.
Remember Pee Wee eats it? Pee Wee loved it.
Oh yeah. Hey, boy.
When I was a kid, cereal was so big.
Look at body cute in them jeans. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, God.
Remember the fucking Eddie Murphy, right?
That's right.
Now come over here and fuck me.
Fuck me, yeah.
Hey, woman. Hey, why don't you come over here and be with a real man? Oh, you got it. Yeah.
Why don't you come over to my apartment tonight and I'll show you a real man.
Bill's favorite color of the scene. Dylan, you son of a bitch. What's the matter? See him,
Mr. T was
I got you
rough to
pushing
work
too many
with, though, they
pencils.
say.
Yeah.
I don't care what you say. You don't get no shot at the title.
Yep, you had to get arrogant Apollo. Yes, you did.
That's right.
That's why Rocky 3 was so special, because you couldn't believe it. Because I said so you figure as a young kid in my early teens, there was I just knew a new movie was coming out. I didn't know what it was about. So when you saw the guy who was his nemesis come and help him, you were like, wow, that was cool as hell.
You know, it's kind of wild. And like, I wonder if you remember when they did if you ever watched the theatrical trailer, you see very briefly when Clubber and Rocky are coming to face in the second fight, you see the title on Mr. T. And you just, at that time, does anybody ever catch that? Because it's so quick. You have to really notice that he has the title on. So you obviously, if you caught that, then you knew he had lost the title. Rocky had lost it previously in the movie.
True. Yeah, I didn't pick on it back. Didn't pick up on it.
Check out the trailer sometimes. You'll see it. It's like, oh, damn.
Because the only time I really saw movie trailers was back when I used to go to the theater. That's where you saw most of them. I mean, I watched TV as a kid, of course, but I just remember seeing more movies that were coming because we used to go to the theater all the time. I mean, I was lucky enough to not only to have the theater close 2 blocks from my house that we used to go see movies all the time, but that was my first job, being an usher in that theater for a couple years.
Something that I should show during this conversation. Yeah. So keep on going, whoever's turn it is.
So yeah, so my number 2, I'm going to piggyback on Joe. My number 2 is the OG Rocky.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Love that movie. I saw it probably. We got cable. I want to say we got cable. Was it either 79 or 1980? We got cable, and I heard about the movie. It was 76. So I was too young to go see it, so I know I didn't see it in the theater. But I remember I had to be 79 or 80 watching it on HBO, and just I remember I somewhere I could show you with Rocky T-shirts in like 1970, 1980 because it was all about Rocky. It was just the best. It was and it was just told so well. And Apollo, of course, he was, as people mentioned, he was arrogant. Apollo, he was such an asshole. But I used to sit there and say, if like boxing matches were like this, I'd watch it religiously.
Dude, oh yeah.
Yeah, it's kind
Like,
of
they're not like that, man. Because I'd watch them all the fucking time if they were like that.
It's it was such a surprise when it won too. They weren't expecting it. If you've seen anything or any filming about her behind the scenes stuff, you had two guys that were up for best supporting actor, Burgess Meredith and Burt Young, against each other for an
Against each
Oscar,
other.
which is kind of wild.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, the whole cut me mix scene, that was amazing.
Oh
Cut
God,
me, Mick.
yeah.
Cut me, Mick.
Yeah, that became a slogan, right?
Cut me. That was iconic. Mick was like everybody's favorite person, you know. Everybody knew a Mick growing up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You got everybody. To realize how much it took for Stallone to make the movie, they did not want him. They wanted to buy the script from him, and he insisted he wanted to do the role.
Yeah.
He's very smart. He's very smart with what he did.
Yes, very smart.
I love the transition of his body through all the different films. If you know how it is, like,
Oh yeah.
he didn't have no money. You know what I mean? So you could tell he was in shape, but he didn't have the money at the time. You know, because he
He didn't have the
older.
Rambo body.
Yeah,
he didn't have
he was-
Rambo body.
He was a little bit older, even at how old was he when the first Rocky came out?
Well, he's
Mid
70
30s, right?
He's 78 now.
So he had to be in his 30s, probably his
He was
mid
in his-
30s.
Just
So
under
in his
30,
30s,
right?
so yeah, so he's in his 30s. So I mean, his physique, you know, he just didn't have the protein and the, you know, the other elements to have that body. But I loved watching all the different films. And 4, of course, is his peak body. 4 is just like fucking, and him and Drago. It's
Hey,
amazing.
Pat, you've never gone to the steps, even though you're in that area, right? You've never gone, right?
I've been the only times I've been to Philadelphia, and I've never made it to the steps. I one of these days I have to.
That was think
Not
about
really.
this. Going to meet Eliza Dushku for the first time and then going to those steps all in like one day. That's a day and a half. Or that's a special day.
Good night, Billy.
Oh man. Good night, Bill.
Good night, my friend.
Take care, bud. I think him and I are I'm gonna go meet up with him in a couple of weeks. I think that's coming up. Him and I gotta talk about that.
One part as a kid, we always when he drinks the raw egg, we were all like, "Ew!"
Oh god, yeah.
That's awesome. That's fucking awesome.
We're at number 2, right?
That's my number 2.
Yeah, number
It
2.
was
Yeah, I
Rocky.
think it's a sweep, guys. So Rocky, yeah, the original Rocky, the best picture of 1976.
Damn.
We're gonna go to a different detour if you don't mind, Pat, because I got something here that's worth very much a lot of money. And if you can find one for a good price, I recommend getting it. This was a Jack's exclusive.
Oh wow, look at that.
I've only seen that one time.
It was a
and,
Ringside Collectibles.
I saw that one time, and they wanted stupid money for that.
I should have bought more of them.
Holy shit! You got the
Never even
Rocky
saw that.
5. Look at the Rocky 5, Rocky.
Yeah, isn't that awesome?
The street fight.
This is a thing of beauty. I used to have it up in the room, but I took it down. It kept on falling down. I don't want anything to get ruined. So, yeah.
Dude, that's all. You got Rocky Balboa. Look
I
at
never saw that. That's awesome as hell.
And a couple of Rocky collectors Facebook groups, somebody made the opponents one, like a custom opponents one.
No way.
They go for sick money too.
So
That's
Yeah.
awesome, dude.
that's not. Yeah, I figured I'd show you guys that thing. Yeah, that thing was $50 when it came out.
Shit. Nowadays,
You
fuck.
probably saw it for at least 200, right, Joe?
It was more than that, bro. It was more than that. And it was in great condition too. It was behind the glass and
Nasty.
everything.
Wow.
Them jokers.
Yeah, that thing is.
But,
I
yeah.
never even saw that. That's cool as hell. I don't even remember seeing that.
If he comes around again, that'd be the next thing. Or if like he's an affordable signing, if he is before
Yeah.
he's gone, that would be the first thing I would get since I've already got a poster. So
You can
Yeah.
put a nice big signature right on the front of that thing. That'd be badass.
What about you, Big Joe? Your
so
number.
I guess my number. This one is my number 2. This one's my number 2.
Oh, that's right. It's not a sweep. My bad.
That's
We
okay.
flip flopped.
My number 2 is tough, but I have to go with Predators, just because of how iconic the movie is. It's like a whole. The movie's just great, and his role. I know he wasn't the star lead guy, but he was a very good supporting actor. Just like he was a great supporting actor in the Rocky movies, he was a great supporting actor in this movie. And his death was awesome. His physique was awesome. He was, I mean, he was just great. He's a great, and he was, I wouldn't say bad guy, but he was, he had that inside agenda and all that shit going on, and it was perfect for that role, man. And that movie is just amazing. So that's my number 2.
Nice.
Butte.
And for me, my favorite, probably more for nostalgia than anything, because it was the first Rocky film I saw in the theater, and I remember everybody running out cheering that he won. So for me, it's Rocky 2. Nice. Rocky 2 was like big for me when I was a kid. I wish, I don't even know where all that shit went. I used to have, I remember,
sure
do you have it
on right now? Sorry.
Do you have, I remember there was like a paperback book of Rocky 2 with a bunch of pictures, like a picture book. Do you have that, Brett?
Yeah.
I used to have that. I had Rocky 2 t-shirts back then. I had the soundtrack on vinyl. I had all that shit. I loved Rocky 2.
And he drives a Trans Am, man. Drives a Bandit car, right?
Yeah, exactly. The Bandit. That was so super special for me because I can remember, it takes me right back to seeing it in the theater and just loving it and getting like all the stuff after that. I wish, I told you, my parents' house must have been a vortex because I had so much shit that just disappeared. Seriously, like that Halloween 2, the Halloween fucking game right there. I had that as a kid. That disappeared somewhere. I had all this cool shit.
Do you have any of these on vinyl? Because they're all down here on vinyl. At least
I used to have. I sold my vinyl collection years ago, like a jackass, because vinyl it was basically garbage at the time. It was dying. Nobody, and I got tired of moving it from apartment to apartment before me and the wife moved in together. So like whatever, I'll just sell it because it was a hassle. And I had 1 and 2. I know I had on vinyl from when I was a kid, and that went with all of it, unfortunately. Only stuff I did save when I sold my vinyl, the only stuff I did save was my Kiss collection, the Halloween vinyl, and a little odd, but I'm a big fan. I saved my New York Dolls because I love the New York Dolls.
It's funny how like people's collection evolves, or you sell stuff and then you get onto something else. Like we were looking at old pictures we took of my storage before we built the house of like just my collectibles and stuff. Like, God, I sold a ton of this shit. And my wife's like, well, that's because you got other shit.
Like, yeah.
No, Leanne's absolutely right. Mothers throw stuff out. It's mom's fault. My parents did not have garage sales because I grew up on a dead end street. So we didn't get trick-or-treaters. We didn't even get freaking Jehovah's Witnesses. Nobody came up on our street. Didn't even know it was there. So
that was awesome.
So there was no garage sale. So she must have just threw it out because even when we cleaned my parents' house out after my father passed, excuse me, and my mom went to assisted living, when we cleaned the house out, I'm like, maybe I'll find some of this shit that disappeared. We ain't found shit.
When the fuck did we get ice cream?
Yeah, I didn't find any of that. My wife
would have let me name my kids Cuff and Link. She wouldn't do that though. You know?
I kept telling the wife, I said, when we have kids, first kid could be Boar, next kid be Wedding.
Oh my God.
Well, all of our dogs' names started with an R, and most responsibly was a dog named Roxy. We didn't call her Rocky because she was a girl. So.
Oh, that's cute.
Yes, good stuff, man.
So you ready? My number one is Rocky 2.
Yeah, that's how you know Pat and I are like related, I think. So yeah, Rocky 2 is
Rocky 2.
Yes, if somebody asked me what's my favorite of the series, it's easily Rocky 2.
Rocky 2. That's easily for me. Rocky 2.
Well,
they talked about it last night. The old man told me about when he saw the drive-in open weekend, and the place went nuts when he won. It thinks back at times where you didn't have the internet to spoil shit or social media. Just
I went in there not knowing that I went in there not knowing that he was going to win because you didn't know.
You got that emotion, right?
Yeah.
You got that Italian in you, man. You're like you took down the black boxer.
Who the fuck am I? Well, what the fuck am I?
Just kidding.
I'll keep it simple, man. My number one is Rocky 2 as well. It's my favorite Rocky film. It's the dynamic that I love so much about Carl Weathers in Rocky 2 was the fact that he wanted to prove to everybody that the first fight was a fluke. And he could not believe, and that's what all he had to do was stay away from Sly or from Rocky that final round.
The man kept coming after you.
Stay away from him. Stick and move. Stay away. All he had to do was stay away. And he would have kept the championship, but his pride would not let him do that.
His pride
would not let him do that. And
man, I won, but I didn't beat him.
That's right. And Rocky capitalized. Everything had to go right for Rocky to win. And that's what makes number 2 so special, is the stars aligned for him. It was such a uphill battle for him with the, Adrian and the baby and all that stuff. He was just not motivated. But once he found that right motivation, and what are we waiting for? All that shit.
It's sad. A lot of people, he was very upset. A lot of critics, a lot of people didn't care for it nearly as much as they should have too.
Fuck the credits. It's ridiculous, because when you transition from part 2 to part 3, he's no longer the underdog. He's now the favorite. He had to lose to become the underdog again. So that's what made number 2 so special. He had nothing to lose, and he just went for it.
I've got it on here. I'm watching Paul. He's drinking Miller High Life. He's got like bottles just on the side, like 2 or 3, and the fight hasn't even started already.
Yeah, it's so great. So, everybody in the chat, let us know, what is your number 1, or just throw your list in the chat.
Yeah, he had to learn how to fight right-handed. There's a lot of interesting little notes of how they wrote the story for it.
I'm not switching.
But then he threw Apollo off when he did it, though. Yeah. Like, oh, fuck. Now he's left-handed again. Fuck. Ow. Don't hit me anymore.
So rest in peace, Carl Weathers. That is our top 5 Carl Weathers movies. Rest in peace. Thanks for watching our latest top 5 from an episode of That Horror Movie Podcast. We do That Horror Movie Podcast every Sunday night live at 8 p.m. on this channel. And every week we feature a top 5 that we all do together and share live with everybody in the chat. So if you have any ideas, by all means, drop them in the comments below. Like this video. It helps everybody find this channel. Be sure to like and subscribe to this channel. And we will see you on Sunday nights.